Hello and welcome to 𝗩𝗵𝗱𝗲𝗄plants.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. Today's video is sponsored by our Amazon affiliate link, which you'll see in the description below. Also in the description below, you will see links to any videos that I mention as I do this video. Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about fungus gnats in your houseplants and what they are and how to control them. So fungus gnats are those little irritating flies that kind of look like a small mosquito. They really look like fruit flies, but they aren't fruit flies. They will invariably fly in front of your face, in front of the face of anyone who comes to visit you, and they're very annoying. What happens is with their life cycle is this. They lay, the adults lay eggs in the top inch or so of your soil, and then they create little larvae, and the little larvae then feeds on any decaying matter in your soil, which is common with organic soil and compost in your soil and that sort of thing. And then they hatch, and then they start the cycle once again. So if the infestation is really bad, then the fungus gnats will eat a lot of the roots of a plant and can destroy a plant. But it has to be a very, very bad infestation. Generally speaking, what's going on is it's just very, very annoying and alarming when you see all these little little black bugs flying around when you go to water, or when you're trying to sit at the kitchen table or in the dining room and you're trying to eat and they're flying around and being very annoying. So it's good to get rid of them if you can, which is very possible. There are several ways to do that, and I'm going to go through those different ways. Now, one way for starters to do that is you can get a fungus gnat mite, 𝗍𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗄𝗂𝗍𝗍𝗄𝗏, and that is naturally found in soil already. So you can actually get them from insectaries and put them into your soil. And what happens is the females of that fungus gnat mite, they lay eggs, and then their larvae will feed on the fungus, on your fungus gnat larvae, so they kill them off. So then you don't have them flying around and becoming adults and flying around. There are also predatory nematodes that will, two different species, and 𝗍𝗻𝗄𝗎𝗂, excuse me, there's two species of the 𝗍𝗻𝗄𝗎 that will also kill the larvae, the fungus gnat larvae. So nematodes are tiny parasitic worms that are found naturally in soil, and what this particular one does with the fungus gnats is it invades the bodies of the fungus gnats. So and it also when it invades the body, so this nematode invades the body of the fungus gnat larvae, it also kills, by doing it, invading it, kills it. But when it starts, it actually releases a poison into the blood of the larvae, so it gets rid of them very quickly. So these nematodes, called predatory nematodes, they are also a nice thing to add into your soil. So if you're having a lot of problems and you just want to do something like that, and without having to worry about other ways of dealing with it, you can do that, and then you won't even see the fungus gnats come out at all. However, now, if you already have fungus gnats, could be the reason why you're watching the video, or have had them in the past, then these are some things you can do to get it under control and to get rid of them. So these are actually alpine strawberries here, which were grown indoors and you can see the nice little pretty flowers on them, and then their little fruit. So this is a gourmet strawberry. You can grow them indoors. So these guys had recently an infestation of fungus gnats, and as I mentioned, it's very common with organic gardening because the fungus gnats love the decomposing matter in compost, and that's often something that is added to really good soils, organic soils. So it is something that's going to happen. Now, what I did with these guys, and this was a whole crop. There's only two. There's only two here, but there was a whole crop of these 𝗍𝗿𝗁𝗁 strawberries, and I put up one of these, and this was up for a good 2 weeks. So you can see how covered it is with the little fungus gnats. And then here's another one that was recently put up too. So it was pretty crazy, and so if you have a lot, it's common. They can get out of control really quick when they're really happy and producing like crazy. But you can easily get them under control. So what happened when I did this was, what happens is you stop the cycle, right? So you have these adults who are getting pregnant with each other, and male and female, and then they go into the soil, the females go into the soil, lay the larvae, and go back up and start the whole process again. And then the larvae make new adults, and et cetera, et cetera. So this stops this process. You get rid of all the adults, there's no more adults laying the larvae, and you get things under control, which is what happened with this. I was able to do that. Additionally, and then so you can get these yellows, they're called yellow sticky traps. And what happens is any sort of flying pest and so these are good for mosquitoes as well. Any flying pest will get stuck, and you will even find if you it sticks on your fingers. So you have to when you are using these guys, be careful, because they will stick to just about anything, including your finger, and it's hard to get your finger off again. Another thing you can do is they have what are called mosquito bits. And these have Bacillus thuringiensis in them. That is another biological control. I was mentioning the mites, the fungus gnat mite, and that sort of thing. Those are biological controls. So what those are Mother Nature's controls. That Mother Nature has the balance, the things to eat things, so that things don't get out of control. So you have that really good balance. So the Bacillus thuringiensis, same thing. It is a bacteria that gets into larvae, and it kills them as well. So you can put this around on the soil, and you can also put, if you're growing hydroponically, you can put this in the water, and it will stop the cycle. It will kill any larvae and stop the cycle and stop them from producing, becoming adults, and then producing more larvae, etc. So this is another really good way to do it. And the last way to get the fungus gnats under control is pretty easy too, is just let the top inch of soil, inch to inch and a half of soil, dry out in between watering. And a lot of houseplants want that. They need that. And not all houseplants, but a lot of houseplants need for that first inch or so to dry out anyway. So what happens when that happens is the larvae dries out. And the larvae dries up because the larvae it needs that moisture to continue to grow and to feed on your soil and on your houseplant roots, and then to pupate and become an adult. So you can stop the cycle right there by just pulling back on watering, let the soil dry out, they will die, and then they're gone. And that I have done that many times over the years, especially with plants that require the drying out in between, like I like to say, approaching dryness in between watering. And the approaching dryness is when the top inch to 2 inches is, depending on the height of the pot, is dried out, and then it's time to re-water. So that works really well. Now, if you have a lot of these in your house, in your area, check any pots and make sure that the drainage on the bottom of the pots is there's not a bunch of water in the drainage dishes, because they love to reproduce in those areas as well. So keep that in mind as well. These, like I said, this was a huge crop actually for sale, so there was quite a few. Also hydroponic going on in that particular area too. So that's why I have so many of these. And like I said, it was over a 2-week, this is like a 3-week period here with all of these too. So it just depends on how many plants you have as to how much this is going to be going on. But now it's totally under control. You can tell you've got things under control when you go to the plant and even touch it. Things don't fly off of it. When you go to water, there's no more of the fungus gnat adults flying off because you're watering. So these are some really good ways to get this fungus gnats under control, and using all at once will get it under control faster, but any of these methods can get it under control eventually. So thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see, and remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.